For over a century, UK politics has been defined by one thing: the dominance of two parties. The last Prime Minister from outside the Conservative or Labour parties was David Lloyd George of the Liberal Party back in 1922. Since 1924, either the Conservatives or Labour have held the keys to number 10. This duopoly, this two-party system, has shaped every major political moment for 100 years. It's become almost an unchallenged norm. One party takes power, the other becomes the opposition, and back and forth they go. For generations, voters have had to choose between what many see now as the lesser of two evils. But is that era finally coming to an end? The latest YouGov MRP survey, its first since the general election, suggests that the foundations of the two-party system may be crumbling. According to this in-depth polling, which surveyed 11,500 people, the Reform Party, led by Nigel Farage, is on track to win 271 seats if an election were held this year. Not enough for a majority, which requires 326, but enough to shake the system to its core and potentially position Reform as the largest party in Parliament. Reform UK, once dismissed as a fringe protest group, is now being spoken of as a potential frontrunner, or even as a replacement for the Conservative Party. The idea that a party outside of the traditional establishment could lead in seat projections would have been unimaginable just a few years ago. Yet here we are. Even more telling, combined support for the Conservatives and Labour has dropped below 50% of the national vote. For a century, these two giants have towered over British politics. Now, they're losing their grip. This kind of polling result is historic, and it suggests that the British public is beginning to look beyond the usual choices. Trust in the status quo is collapsing, and voters are more open than ever to political alternatives. On the right, Reform UK is rising fast. In the 2024 general election held on July the 4th, Reform secured 14.3% of the vote, placing third overall with 4.1 million votes. That was no small feat. Around 25% of those who voted Conservative in 2019 switched to Reform in 2024. That's a staggering defection rate and a clear warning sign for the Tories. These are not just disgruntled voters, they're people who have fully jumped ship. Nigel Farage's message about immigration, national sovereignty and government accountability has found fertile ground among disillusioned Conservatives. But the political tremors aren't limited to the right. There's a movement forming on the left too, a movement that could reshape the progressive landscape of the UK. On the 3rd of July 2025, Coventry South MP Sara Zoltana announced she was leaving the Labour Party to co-found a new left-wing party. Her statement was striking. She said, and I quote, "Jeremy Corbyn and I will co-lead the founding of a new party with other independent MPs, campaigners and activists across the country." This wasn't just a defection, it was a declaration of war against the status quo within Labour. Sultana didn't hold back. She described Westminster as broken and said the two major parties offer nothing but managed decline and broken promises. The next day, former Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn confirmed he was on board. He welcomed Sultana's move and declared that a new kind of political party would soon take shape. For many on the left, this was a long time coming. Corbyn still commands a loyal and vocal support base, especially among younger voters and working class communities who feel alienated by the current Labour leadership. And Corbyn's popularity shouldn't be underestimated. When he led Labour into the 2017 general election, he secured nearly 12.9 million votes. That's not just a big number, it's a staggering one when compared to Keir Starmer's 9.7 million votes in 2024, when Starmer actually won the election. In other words, nearly 3 million more people voted for Corbyn in a losing campaign than voted for Starmer in a winning one. That fact alone underscores just how powerful and widespread Corbyn's grassroots appeal truly was. It highlights a deep reservoir of support for Jeremy Corbyn that still exists across parts of the country, particularly among young people, union members and long-time Labour loyalists who feel abandoned by the current leadership. This is one of the reasons why many political commentators describe the 2024 election as a protest vote. Labour won with the lowest vote share ever for a majority party, and the election had the lowest voter turnout in decades. Corbyn's campaign inspired mass rallies, grassroots movements, and an energised base. He was not without controversy, but his support was passionate and deeply rooted. If Corbyn launches this new party, it could spell disaster for Starmer. Disillusioned left-wing voters may find a natural home in this movement, and if Labour's vote is split in key constituencies, it could open the door for other parties to win seats they've never held before. In the UK's first-past-the-post system, a split vote can be fatal. Constituencies that Labour once held securely could fall to the Conservatives, to Reform, or even to the Lib Dems and Greens. For Keir Starmer, already under pressure from both inside and outside his party, a Corbyn-led rebellion could trigger the very collapse he was meant to prevent. His leadership's been defined by moderation, caution, and trying to win over Middle England, but in doing so, he's risked alienating the very activists and voters who once gave Labour its soul. At the same time, two political figures, Nigel Farage and Jeremy Corbyn, represent opposite ends of the spectrum but share one crucial trait: the ability to mobilise people who feel politically abandoned. Nigel Farage, with his trademark defiance of political correctness and establishment norms, has successfully rebranded Reform UK as more than a single-issue party. While immigration remains a core message, he's broadened his appeal to include economic frustrations and dissatisfaction with the Westminster elite. On the other side, Jeremy Corbyn has maintained a passionate grassroots movement even after stepping down as Labour leader. His political brand, anti-war, anti-austerity, pro-worker, pro-public ownership, still resonates deeply with millions of voters, especially among younger voters and long-neglected communities. His return to frontline politics with Sara Zoltana isn't just a nostalgic revival, it's a calculated challenge to Labour's centrist pivot under Starmer. And while the spotlight is on Reform UK and the new Corbyn-Sultana alliance, we shouldn't ignore the Liberal Democrats and the Green Party. The Lib Dems have quietly built a stronghold in parts of southern England, benefiting from tactical votes and anti-Tory sentiment. They may not be leading nationally, but in targeted constituencies they've become formidable. Meanwhile, the Greens continue to resonate with younger, climate-conscious voters, especially in cities and university towns. Their message on environmental justice, social equality and anti-establishment politics is gaining traction. In short, the UK's political map is being redrawn. The two-party system that's dominated for 100 years is no longer guaranteed. Reform UK is surging on the right, a new left-wing force is emerging, and the smaller parties are watching closely. We're entering a new era of British politics, one where voters are demanding more than tradition. The question is no longer if the system will change, but how far and how fast. As we look ahead to the next general election, or even a potential snap election, the political landscape may be almost unrecognisable from what we've known. Britain's future is uncertain, but one thing feels increasingly clear. The age of guaranteed dominance by Labour and the Conservatives may be coming to a dramatic close. British politics will never be the same again. Do you think the two-party system is finally breaking down? And if so, what or who do you think will replace it? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on the future of UK politics.